What's going on, everybody? So I've done a little bit of work in between episodes. First of all, I kind of tidied up my new base a little bit. I went ahead and tried to organize my storage, and I've done this by just kind of placing a block above each barrel that kind of represents what's in that barrel. So like this is all of my wood type stuff. This is all of my stones. In some cases it's a little more difficult, like I had to use an armor stand for armor and weapon type stuff. And over here I've got a bunch of bamboo. Oh yeah, I found a jungle biome kind of off in that direction somewhere. So I brought back a bunch of bamboo and threw that in here along with some scaffolding. And so I just put a piece of scaffolding on top to kind of represent all that. By the way, if you're wondering where I got the string for this scaffolding, I went ahead and got some villagers from the village that's just north and brought them over here. They're all just kind of hanging out on, it's not even an island, it's just sort of a little piece of land in this cove over here. So eventually, I'm going to do a big villager trading hall over here somewhere. And so that's why I brought them all over here, was to get them started. And yeah, that's where I got my string. And if you're not quite sure how I got string from a bunch of villagers, then bless your sweet, sweet innocence. But before I really get started with the villager trading hall, I need to get some farms going. I need to grow some crops. I need to grow some sugar cane, probably like some pumpkins and melons. I need a bunch of stuff that I can sell to villagers very easily and cheap so that I can get lots and lots of emeralds. One of the reasons I want a big villager trading hall is I want some armors, I want some toolsmiths, I want some weaponsmiths. I want that to be how I get all of my diamond gear. I've done a little bit of mining and I've got 6 diamonds. That's it. Found a lot more iron, but I've only got 6 diamonds. And I'm going to try to hold on to those. I don't really want to use them if I don't have to. I'm going to try to use the villagers to get diamond pickaxe, diamond sword, diamond armor. And so to do that, I need lots of emeralds, which means I need lots of like crops and sugar cane and stuff like that. So what I'm thinking is I've got this nice little hill back here. And I kind of want to do some sort of like a steeped terrace or stepped terrace. I don't know how you pronounce that. I kind of flattened off the top of this hill. I went ahead and dug out a little pond and filled it in with water in between episodes. And I'll probably just put all my sugar cane up here kind of surrounding this. But what I want to do today is eventually I'm going to knock out these 2 blocks and have water kind of flowing from this pond down this hill. And I want my crops to be kind of at different elevations as you go down this hill here. Which means that first I need to actually dig this stuff out. If I just go ahead and open this up, you can see the water is just kind of flow everywhere. And that's not really what I want it to do. So let me plug that back up. And what I'm going to do is, it's going to be a little hard to sort of work out, I think, just because of the current slope of this hill. In some cases, like up here, I'm going to have to dig back a little ways. In other cases, like over here, I'm going to have to fill in with dirt. So it's going to require a little bit of work, but it shouldn't be too hard. I may have underestimated how much space this is going to take up. So what I've done is I started to dig out and frame a little trough where the water is going to flow from the pond up here, which now that I look at it, I got the wrong blocks. Yeah, where the water is going to flow from the pond up here down to the farms. And I've got these little canals going. These are where the water is going to go from this little stream that I'm going to build into the actual crop fields. And right now I'm just kind of measuring things out. What I was hoping for was a little trough of water with 4 blocks on each side. And there, like this would be one crop field up here, let's say wheat, and then there would be another one step down. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, water, 1, 2, 3, 4. This might be potatoes, and then another one for carrots, and another one for beetroots, which this should actually be 1 block lower. And it wasn't until I got all the way out here that I realized, holy cow, that sticks out really, really far. Like the hill is way over there. And if I was going to carry this whole thing out as far as I wanted, there would just be this huge like platform either floating in air, or I'd have to fill all this in with dirt that I don't have, and it would just stick out like a sore thumb. So I need to rethink this. Either I need to make each of these a lot thinner, like maybe just 2 blocks wide on each side of the stream, and then I could make them longer. Or maybe I keep the same size and I do farms on each side. So I could push this hill back a little ways and then have some crops over here and over there. Holy cow, that was a lot of work. Mostly because I kind of went through a couple different layouts, a couple different designs before I finally settled on something that I like. So the problem I was having was by putting all of the farms on this side and just going down one step each time and having them 4 blocks on each side of the little water trough made this thing stick out really, really far, and it was going to end up just sort of hovering in the air, and I didn't want to build this hill out that far. So what I did was I kind of shortened each little farm section from I guess it would have been 9 blocks total, 4 blocks on each side with the water in the middle, so that would have been 9. I shortened it to 7, so it's just 3 blocks water and 3 blocks. And then I also, I had toyed with putting some of the farms on this side, and what I ended up doing was kind of a combination of the two. So I shortened each one, and then this first section, it's 16 blocks just on the right side of this central water canal. The next one is 10 blocks on that side and 6 blocks on that side. The next one is 4 blocks over here and 12 over there. And the last one is 16 blocks on this side. So I have 16 blocks for each little farming section. But as you go down, they slowly work their way from one side of this central canal to the other side, which did require sort of pushing this hill back a little. I had to kind of dig into it, both on this side and on that side over there. That's why this thing took so long. But I think I'm happy with this. I think I like it. It's not a drastic elevation change at any point. There is still kind of a little bit of a step up in a few places, but I can smooth that out with some more dirt on the outsides of this thing. What I'm starting to do now is all of this cobblestone is really just a placeholder to mark the division between each section. I do want something there to divide each section, but since this is my Imaginarium season and I'm trying to be different and think outside the blocks, think outside the box, I didn't just want to use cobblestone because it's such an easy go-to block, especially this early in the game. I've got tons and tons of cobblestone from mining. And so I'm trying to be a little more imaginative. So what I'm doing now is replacing the cobblestone with these copper slabs. And you might think, copper, that's going to kind of stick out like a sore thumb. But I'm not going to wax it. I'm not going to wax it. I'm going to let this stuff oxidize, and eventually it's going to turn green. And I'm hoping that the green oxidized copper with all of these farms will actually look pretty good. I'm hoping it will kind of blend in with the green grass and the green tops to like the carrots and potatoes and everything. So unfortunately it's going to be one of those things that we're just going to have to let it sit for a while until everything oxidizes before we can really see how it turns out. Alright, I think that's going to do it for the copper slabs. So we're almost done here. I need to do something with this central area where the water is going to be flowing. And so what I want to do for this, I am just going to go back to cobblestone, mainly because I just don't have a whole lot of options. I don't have a ton of blocks right now. As far as stones go, I only have cobblestone and a little bit of regular stone and some deep slate. So there's not a whole lot of options for me to use at this early point in the game. But what I want to do is I want to create a sort of aqueduct. That's the word I'm thinking of. A sort of aqueduct. And so what I want to do is just do kind of cobblestone walls like this, and periodically on top of these walls I will do some acacia fences like this and this, and I think I'm going to go up by 2. And then I'll kind of get up on top here. We're going to put some cobblestone slabs right there, and then we'll put one there and there. So it's going to create this sort of archway, like a little hallway tunnel type thing that goes all the way down like this. But then it's going to be a little bit taller in the middle. This would actually be a pretty cool walkway just for people traffic, but it's actually going to be for the water. So the water is going to be flowing down here. So how's this looking? Yeah, something kind of like that. Yeah, I think this will work. So I'm going to do this all the way down, And then these little holes in the middle here, this is where the water is going to flow from this central sort of aqueduct down into each of the fields. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to make some iron bars, and I'm just going to put some iron bars in those little gaps. Eventually we'll have to come back and waterlog these so the water will actually flow through them. But I think this will look really nice as a sort of grate between the aqueduct and these little troughs where the water is going to flow out. All right, finished building the aqueduct system. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, I really like it. So I think we're ready to put the water in. So we're going to go up to the top. We'll go back up to the pond where this is all going to start. And we're just going to break these two blocks right here and let the water flow out. It should just naturally flow all the way down through this whole aqueduct system. But I'm going to kind of help it out a little bit, because you can see that there's some places where it's not getting, like it's kind of hard to see with the RTX, but it's not flowing into that side. So I'm actually going to block this up so that the water just kind of flows out and fills this whole area. And then it should stay that way. I'll do the same thing here. Just kind of block that out so the water fills up this whole area. And then for the actual aqueduct itself, let's see, do we just have the water flow down? No, we can't, because it actually isn't going to flow far enough. Each of these little sections is long enough that the water comes to a complete stop. So we are going to have to help it out a little bit. We're going to have to put some water sources down here in the actual aqueduct. And I do want to leave the water flowing a little bit, so I'm not going to fill this whole thing in with water sources. I'll just do like at the very beginning of each little section, which should be enough to get it to flow down to the next section. But I'll do one more block as well. So basically you've got a little 2x2 area of water sources at the beginning of this section, and then that's enough for it to flow down to the next section. That way it looks like it's flowing water. If we fill this whole thing in with water sources, then it would look more like a river, which isn't really what I'm going for. Alright, so there's our aqueduct filled in. So now we need to come waterlog these little iron bars here so that the water will flow down into the trough. And then same thing, the water's not going to flow all the way to the end of the trough, and so we are going to need to put some water sources in here as well. And this time I am going to fill the entire thing with water. I don't want this to be running water. It should look like this whole thing is filled in with water from the aqueduct over there. Alright, so that is all of our water in. This is looking really, really good. Last thing to do is to actually plant the crops. So I need to go make a hoe, probably make more than one, because I don't think an iron hoe, which is all I can make right now, is going to till this entire area. Yeah, I'll go get a hoe and we'll start planting some crops up here. Yeah, so I forgot I don't have a whole lot of crops right now. So I can't actually fill in these fields. And because I can't really fill them in all the way yet, I'm not bothering to till everything. My hoe, yeah, just broke. So I only I only tilled 2 rows on either side of the water up until this point where my hoe broke. And even that, I can't fill all those in. One thing I just realized, a limitation of this really cool looking little aqueduct that I built, is I can't just hop across to the other side now. I have to kind of go around. Maybe I'll put like a fence gate in here or there to sort of hop across. But yeah, I've got wheat over here, and then I've got some beetroot in the next field next to that. And then next to that, a couple of potatoes, more potatoes on the other side. And then the 4th section is all carrots. So I'm going to let all this stuff grow. Once it grows, I will plant it and hopefully get this whole area filled in and expanded. Up top, I'm going to go ahead and plant my sugarcane around the pond up here. I may eventually do something different for my sugarcane because I don't know that there's going to be enough room around this pond to really grow as much sugarcane as I want. I'm going to want to get lots and lots of paper to trade with villagers to get more emeralds. Paper is a really good way to do that. Sugarcane is super easy to grow. And so I'm probably going to end up wanting more than this, but this is a good place to start without working on a whole nother project just for sugarcane. In fact, I can even start lining the little path down here to get down to my crops with sugarcane as well. So yeah, this will work for now, and I'll think about something else I might want to do with sugarcane in the future. So that is going to wrap it up. This is a fun new farm that we put in. I kind of like it. The only reason I'm not like, this is super awesome, is because it is a little cumbersome to get from one side to the other. I think it looks great. I'm really, really happy with how it looks. I just need to find a better means of getting from one side to the other side of the farm without having to go all the way around, because that's a little bit tedious. But I do really like the way it looks. It turned out really cool. With the far end of it all the way down there, right now it's just kind of blocked off. I need to find something else to do with that. Probably going to dig out like a little river that goes from the aqueduct down to the ocean. That might look really nice. That could be where I plant the rest of my sugarcane, who knows? But I think I'm ready to call this little farms project done. Thank you all so much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. I don't think I've done any patron shoutouts this month. It's been kind of a weird month with season 2 coming to an end and starting a new series and everything. So I'll go ahead and do all of them at once. Thank you so much to Summer, Tiki, and Grandma Liz for your support. Really, really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button. And while you're down there, feel free to subscribe so you'll get notified of future episodes as they come out. Thanks y'all and have a great day.